Hi, I'm Landscaper and this is the Wannabe Composer series. Oh, that's hot. Right, so we're currently doing our Dungeons and Dragons Fest. We've got a new commission, which is great. I've also just watched my last video back, and you can tell I haven't slept for 2 months. I mean, look at these bags. Oh my God, you could put groceries in these. Anyway, so Dungeons and Dragons. I've got a whole list of bits that I'm going to get into, but before I do, I was going to play the second demo that I sent over. Probably the one that kind of won the gig, if I'm honest, but there we go. So, with this one, I'm using a fairly new to me instrument. It's a Contact 7 library. If it loads, here we go. And it is called Slate Ash. Landforms. It's got some incredible sounds, but it's really, really juicy. Again, I might put a little link in the description for this. Awesome, but my PC is no slouch. I know quite often, it tries to blow up, but it's no slouch. And it can only run 2 of these on their own. Nothing else, no effects. It literally can do very little with it. As you can kind of see on this track, I've not got an awful lot of stuff going on. And over there it is going as the old peak is wavering away and hitting the red as soon as you start playing. I mean, this is it on idle. Nothing's happening. It's already... So there you go, anyway. And I got another producer friend of mine who has got a pretty powerful Mac. Because I know, PC, not ideal for music making. But he got a pretty powerful Mac, and even that, struggles with 2 or 3 of them going. So, although it's a purchase I would highly recommend, it is a juicy one. So, I've been combating that basically by finding or creating my own kind of almost samples. Like I find a patch I really like, play some stuff in, and then just bounce it down to audio, and then I'm creating a little library of different keys, different feels, different things in audio, so I can just bring the audio in, which works and saves me a bit of processing power for sure. Right, anyway, here we go. So this is the second one that I sent through, and this is using some of that Landforms. I've got these 2 here, playing away. So got the same kind of drum feel. I've just realised I've got 3 of them playing actually. So. I've got a ton of effects on it as well. And my ears are so shot at the moment with this cold, I've no idea if it sounds good or not. Feel free not to put comments in. I like it, quite atmospheric at the end. 3 minutes is probably way too long for an actual game intro, so having spoken to the client, they would like only really kind of 40 seconds as the intro bit, and then maybe some atmosphere. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to start developing packs, if you like. So I'm going to start developing bunch of intros, then in the same sort of theme, stuff that sits in the background. Because unlike when you write with computer games, you've got the C++ code sitting in the background, and when an interaction happens, it changes the music. So you write the various different parts of the music, all the same sounds, all in the same kind of key, same sort of feel, but they're obviously triggered at certain specific points when certain things happen. Now, live Dungeons and Dragons, you're not going to have that trigger point, and the other thing I'm kind of conscious of, and something that we want to work around and get around, is that the DM's not going to have masses of time, or probably want, to sit there and trigger, different audio tracks for different things. So it's how we get that kind of atmosphere and feel without being specific. I mean, you could, be a pretty hefty commission, but you could obviously write stuff for specific things. But if they're running games week in, week out, it would be quite a tall order to be able to try and write stuff for the next week for the next game. So it's not really going to be practical to do that. So I've got to try and build a kind of library of different intros, different atmospheres, battle sequences, maybe that kind of thing, so there's a relatively small amount for the DM to trigger, is my thinking anyway. I mean, it'll be a work in progress. We'll see how it goes. You're going to run it for a few campaigns and stuff like that, and we'll probably progress it from there. Anyway, right, so for now we're going to go and I'm going to play some of the initial ideas, initial concepts for intros that I've got. So bear with, Collar, we shall load this while you wait. I'll probably put a pause in here, don't you worry. Either that or you can just watch me drink tea. But you're glad it's not a live stream, this one, aren't you? Okay, so this is the first intro that I've written. It's too long, again, by about 2 minutes. So I am going to rethink. I originally wrote these and just asked for some intros. And then after the event, which is rather dumb of me, no surprise there. After the event, it was like, hey, I need about 40 seconds. And I was like, okay. So I might try and condense some of these and then build them into atmospheres as well that last for, maybe up to 20 minutes or whatever they're going to want for an average kind of campaign. So initially, we have got a bunch of contact. I've taken some of the damage drums. I love to use damage drums. And I've bumped everything down to audio pretty much to bring in. I've kept like the original track is still there in case I want to add in some more bits. This is damage 2. Sonically, damage is quite tricky, or tricky for me anyway, to mix. Definitely using the elements of damage as single hits, bouncing them down, putting them all together tends to give a better result than using the loops that they've already got pre-made, which are brilliant. So it's a difficult toss-up really, because they make some excellent loops, but they are quite tricky to mix, quite tricky to get into the mix. I have done that, or I have attempted to do that. And it's been a while since I've heard this as well, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. But I've also got some of that Slate Ash stuff that I was talking about before. Found some different bits in that, and I've used another contact library called Kinetic Metal, which has got some good stuff in it. And then I've got a couple of my old favourites. So Omnisphere 3 has just come out, or reasonably recently. Try saying that when you're drunk. So I'm probably going to upgrade to that soon. There's some very cool features, but again, I'm probably not the guy to watch to talk you through a tutorial on how to use it. But I might find some people who are and link out to them. I've got Opus running a solo string, I believe, solo violin. Yes, solo violin, which is my go-to favourite. We'll worry about that later. Okay, let's have a little listen. That's kinetic metal. Looks very cool, that. Get some real twisty sounds out of it. Okay, now as I say, probably too long, but the the premise behind these intros and what I'm trying to bear in mind is that they're going to sit in the background behind the DM talking about what's going to happen or what happened previously, what's coming up, etc., etc. So I almost feel like I've probably over-egged it a little bit with the drums. So certain atmospheric stuff is great for backing up the description, but if it's too much and it's too overpowering, it's going to detract, right? So that balance is going to be an interesting one. We'll see, and we'll mix it down, we'll send it across, and we'll see what they say, and hopefully they'll get to test some of these. But I'm kind of conscious, having done this for a while, some of this stuff, maybe less will be more. But also it depends. You might want to rile up the players if you've got, a big campaign coming up or big mission coming up, whatever. So Could work. Anyway, let's go on to the second one. Put a pause in here. Don't forget to save it. I saved it. Okay, so this is intro number 2. A similar setup in terms of instrumentation. And what I've done again is I bounced stuff down to audio. Some of it I recorded back in on itself with some other effects and that kind of thing. And blah blah blah, just different ideas to try and get some different sort of sounds out of stuff. And then I've got some sample packs that I purchased quite some years ago now, but I still think they're very good, very viable, and I've used a few of those for effects. So this is the second one. Again, probably too long, of course. And recently, I think Dungeons and Dragons has got a kind of additional uplift, obviously, through Stranger Things. And I thought to myself, yeah, maybe I should utilise some of that influence. It's not quite there, and there's certainly some I would like to do with those kind of sounds, the kind of Stranger Things synths and electric guitars and stuff like that, because I think that might resonate now. Whether that will stand the test of time, who knows, but that's number 2. So I'm going to pause and load number 3. Oh no, okay, looks like I haven't really done very much with this. Hello?